What was your dream as a kid? If it was like mine, it was probably something that now you smile at and laugh at. My dream was to be a professional women's basketball player for the WNBA, specifically for the Minnesota Lynx. Now, fast forward to my senior year in high school, and my goal is to work in sports marketing for a professional basketball team. Somehow, these two things oddly collided together. Especially how odd it is that I took a hard left turn in my life freshman year. The road is never straight, but if you embrace it, you'll eventually get to a life you didn't even know was possible. So let's look at that road by first understanding what the road in life truly is, and then we'll learn how to embrace it by looking at my personal life. The road in life is something that is very simple. It is your day-to-day life, every single thing you do. The hardships, the bad days, those decisions, every single thing. I like to think as the mountains as your hardships, the speed bumps as those bad days, but my favorite and most important part, the detours. Those decisions that you make in your gut that you know is right, but in your mind you're thinking, should this really be the right choice? This is a crazy decision, but you still go anyway. Those detours will take you to a place you never even knew. In fact, so many people in our society today are so stressed out about their future. The American Psychological Association published a study in 2024 stating that 27% of Americans feel so stressed out that they can barely function on a day-to-day basis, with a primarily motivation to that being the stress about the future. Something we cannot even control. Something that we cannot control as we sit in this room today. So I would like to encourage you with the quote, "Everything happens for a reason." We hear this quote quite often, but in reality, each of us hear this quote a little differently. Because each and every person in this room, including me, has had a mountain that they have had to climb. That they have gotten down and realized that they are a better person because of it. And we should celebrate that here today. In fact, as you guys leave this room today, I want you to think about those mountains. Because Harvard Business Review published a study in 2024 stating that the most successful leaders have one major flaw. Their major flaw is that they do not celebrate the small victories in their life. So celebrate getting up that mountain. Celebrate getting back down and becoming a better person. Because fate is a reality in all of our lives. The National Library of Medicine stated that less than 50% of Americans believe in fate. I want to change that number to 100% in that room today. Because we all look at that quote differently. Everything happens for a reason, touches each and every single person, because we have all had a moment in our lives, whether it was a decision or a hardship that we've had to overcome, that makes us look at that quote and smile. So how do we embrace it? The top 3 pictures are of me in my childhood, 2 are dreams of mine, and 1 is something I love to do. The first one is me at a Minnesota Lynx game with my family. The second one is me, 3rd grade year, aspiring to be the first female president. And the final one is the thing I love to do. And that was to go to UND hockey games with my family and eat Dippin' Dots with my sister and my brother. The first one, like I said, I want to go in sports marketing. The second one, in this fall, I got to go to Washington, D.C. with DECA and got to take a private tour of the U.S. Capitol and the House of Representatives. An opportunity that amazed me in the moment and something I never thought was possible. And the final picture, but down below, is a picture I took 2 weeks after deciding UND was my dream college that I wanted to go to. And I took that picture because I was so excited that that was going to be my future in the fall. But as I said, I took a hard left turn my freshman year. That hard turn was me deciding to quit basketball and volleyball and instead focus on the forensics. At the time, that was a gut choice. That was a choice that for some reason I felt like I needed to make. But all freshman year, I was left doubting every single second. Did I make the right choice? Was it crazy? Was it insane? Why did I do it? But it felt right. Sophomore year continued on, and I decided to join DECA and go to Austin, Texas. 2 weeks before Austin, Texas, basketball season started up, and once again, I started doubting. Was I supposed to quit basketball? Was I supposed to not be doing what I used to love? But as I got on the airplane to Austin, Texas, I looked out the airplane window and smiled and said, I made this choice for a reason. Let's try to go live it. Austin, Texas came around, and we had to compete at this conference. I was having the time of my life, but I was competing. I shook the judge's hand, and I sat down, and I started presenting. And all of a sudden, a spark flipped inside of me that I did not even know existed until presenting. I stood up, shook the judge's hand again, and walked out of the room. As I walked out of that room, I smiled and said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. What I had to present on that day was how to increase attendance for our WNBA basketball team and increasing merchandise sales. As I walked out of that room, I realized that that hard detour I took brought me to an odd moment in my life where I found exactly what I wanted to do, the exact passion. As I got in that airplane, when I realized, let's try to live this life, I lived the life by finding what I love to do. That's when the quote, everything happens for a reason, changed in my life. So, we first understood how this path in our road takes us and what it truly is by looking at those hardships being the mountains, the bad days being the speed bumps. But the most important part, the detours. Then we learned how to embrace every single thing by looking at my personal life. But I want you to remember this today, is that whether you've made this gut decision now and you are sitting there doubting it, or if it is in your future, first off, listen to your gut because fate is real. And second of all, never doubt yourself. Embrace it. Because everything does happen for a reason, as long as you are willing to take the chance and the opportunity. And when you do embrace it, you will become and show in a life that you never even imagined possible.